Welcome to day 2 of the Manifest Your Vision Challenge. We have a powerful day prepared for you. Welcome. Turn on your camera so we can see your beautiful and radiant and luminous smiling faces. Vin, so good to see you. Awesome to be with you. Kamal, I know you're in India right now. Steve, good to see you. Vanja, Carol, Maria, Andy, Greg, everyone, welcome. Who's ready for a powerful day? Where's your energy coming into today's training? Share with me in 1 or 2 words in the chats. How are you feeling? Where's your state? Okay. So yesterday was day 1. And yesterday we became aware of the 12 stages in the hero's journey towards manifesting your vision. That we begin in the ordinary world and then we're called to an adventure. And that often there's the refusal of the call, but then we meet the mentor and we cross the first threshold. And as we continue this journey, how important it is for us to acquire tools, strategies, and techniques that support us along the way, because we're going to meet the ordeal of the dragons, yes? So how we navigate those dragons externally and internally and be victorious towards our highest aim, towards the fulfillment of our true purpose, towards the fulfillment of our highest calling. This is the key. And today you're going to be receiving specific tools. Who's fired up about receiving tools that you could take with you on this epic journey towards manifesting your vision? Because as you know, on the hero's journey, as you are victorious with the dragon, what happens? The treasure. You integrate the treasure, and then you have the rebirth. Okay, this is the mentor within you coming back with the elixir, back to your community, your clients, your people. So we talked about the importance as a foundational key to manifestation, like the foundational key to manifesting your vision is your state of being. Who are you being? Okay. Are you being somebody that needs to make it happen? Or are you being somebody who is available, who is sovereign, who is present, who is gracious, who is abundant, who is fulfilled? Who are you being in light of your manifestation? And we talked about specific keys and formulas of your state, yes? Let's do a quick review and check in on those. Where's your physiology going into today? Check in with your physiology. Is it in a supreme state to manifest your vision? Awesome, because the state that you're in with your identity, your state of being, your sense of being in the center is what influences, quick review from yesterday, it's what influences what you perceive in a field of infinite possibilities. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to get started with an activation. Who's ready for an activation that you could feel in your body to create neural pathways to manifesting your vision? So right now, you are in one of 2 places. And I've read all the questionnaires. You're either clear on what it is that you're intending to manifest. Who's in that place where you're crystal clear? I'm building my coaching business. I'm launching this program. Who's crystal clear? Let me see by show of hands. Okay. So if you're clear on what it is, the activation we're about to go into, you're going to do this activation with that clarity of that vision that you've been working with, that you're already present to. Has everybody got that? Now there's others who are not yet clear in their vision. Who's not yet clear on what the vision is? Okay, so if you're not yet clear, you want to tune in to the areas where you feel most passionate, most aligned, most inspired to be. And how can you be in that field aiming towards the highest? So how can you find the field that resonates with your soul, your purpose, and aim towards the highest level of excellence in that field? And that will pave the way for your manifestation, for your new beginning. So one of the things that neuroscience tells us is that the way that we visualize literally influences, creates new neural pathways in the brain. So a lot of times, I talked about this briefly yesterday, what happens is people visualize what they don't want. Has anybody done that in the past where you're visualizing like the worst case scenario type of thing? So what we're going to do is we're interrupting those patterns and we're going to forge new neural pathways that are in alignment with your vision. Who would love today, in today's session, to improve their powers of visualization to manifest your vision? That would be like a game changer to receive that. Okay, that's what's going to happen. First, I'm going to play a little video for you to inspire you about the activation that you're about to receive. So enjoy this video. And this is something, what I'm about to guide you through is something that the world's greatest athletes, the world's greatest entertainers, the world's greatest leaders all practice this specific technique. Here, check out this short 1-minute video of one of the world's greatest entertainers practicing a similar version of the technique without even realizing he was using a technique at the time. Check this out. I'm having technical difficulties all of a sudden. Hold on a second. What happened here?
You used to go up.
Okay, there we go. Technical difficulties, everyone. And you know what? You're going to have technical difficulties as you go fulfill your vision. So here's what happens when you get technical difficulties. You improvise, adapt, and overcome. Everybody write that down. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. That is the strategy for mastery.
Mulholland Drive and park
every night.
and visualize seeing yourself as.
Yeah, I would visualize.
This is when you were broke and poor.
You know, right, having directors interested in me and people that I respected saying, I like your work or whatever that is, and I would visualize things coming to me that I wanted or whatever.
This was in like 1987, 85.
Yeah.
And
I had nothing at that time, so it was like, but it just made me feel better. It made me, at that time, all it really was for me was kind of making me feel better. I would drive home and think, well, I do have these things. They're out there. I just don't have a hold of them yet, but they're out there.
So didn't you write yourself a check? I heard that you did. Is that true?
I wrote myself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and I gave myself 5 years, or 3 years maybe, and I dated it Thanksgiving 1995. And I put it in my wallet, and I kept it there, and it deteriorated and stuff. But then, just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was going to make $10 million on, I think it was Dumb and Dumber, maybe.
Dumb and Dumber, yeah. So you visualize yourself like. Visualization works if you work hard.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You can't just visualize and then go eat a sandwich.
I also understand that you put that check that you'd written to yourself in the casket with your father when you passed. Is that true?
Yeah, because it was kind of our dream, together.
So he was a janitor, and he started visioning himself, but he wasn't just visioning himself at the end game of success. He was visioning the process. This is part of the technique I'm about to guide you through. He was visioning himself auditioning. He was visioning the leaders looking at him and saying, oh my gosh, you're the best. We want you. He visioned this in, my video wasn't on. Sorry about that. I had a glitch on my video. Could you all hear me though? So he visioned this success in advance, but not just the end result. He visioned the process. He went through the simulation. Like he visioned himself showing up to the audition. He envisioned himself doing an excellent job. He envisioned the response of the producers, the directors. And he did this vision over and over and over again. And then he even had a tangible check that he wrote, and he kept it in his pocket. So he was creating the results in advance in his mind and then stepping into his creation. So one of the keys to manifesting your vision is your powers of imagination and using your powers of imagination wisely. There's 5 modes of imagination that I taught last month in our membership program. We're going to go into 3 of them right now for this particular simulation that we're going to practice, okay? One of them is vision, being able to see. How many of you can see what you want to manifest? How many of you can see it in your mind? Or you could see yourself manifesting it? Who could see it? Okay. Another one is somatic. What I'm going to do is I'm only going to give you 3 of the 5 for this exercise. Then what I'll do is, for those of you that join us for the membership, I'm going to give you the entire teaching on imagination that we just did last month as a gift to support you in integrating this even more, because a key part of manifesting your vision is your powers of imagination. So one is vision, being able to see it. The other is somatic, being able to feel it. So you feel the feelings of victory, of success, of triumph in advance from this state of being. And the third is strategic imagination. So strategic imagination is literally being able to see the steps, okay, the steps along the way. So for example, for Jim Carrey, he would see himself memorizing the scripts. He would see himself performing at a level of excellence. He would see the response that he would get. So that is a strategic imagination. There's a sequence, a sequential. Who's got those 3 forms of imagination? Visual, somatic, kinesthetic, and strategic. You got that? So those are 3 tools that are going to be imperative for you to have on your hero's journey of manifesting your vision, utilizing your imagination in these particular ways. And, okay, let me see. And let me get straight into this technique. Okay, here. Everybody's got it? What you're going to do, you're going to be seeing it, feeling it, and then strategizing it. Okay? So let me guide you. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach you the technique. And then after I teach it, I'm going to guide you through it. But I'm going to teach it first because I want to make sure that you all understand where we're going. So by the time we get there, you're ready to go. Okay? Got it? All right. And then I'll take any simple questions on it because I want to make sure you guys got this before we go. Because we have, after we do this technique, we have a very special guest coming. Who knows who's coming today to join us? Michael Beckwith is coming. So, all right, everybody. So here's the technique. It's called the Genius Integration Technique. Can everybody say that out loud? Genius Integration Technique. Okay. So what you're going to do in a moment is you're going to pick a model of possibility who exemplifies the fulfillment of vision in the context that you intend to manifest your vision. Who is somebody who's a model of possibility? Who is somebody who, like, for example, some of you are coaches in the field and you're looking to launch your new program, and that's part of what I was reading in the questionnaires. Who is a model of possibility that you would say, this person is further along on the path that I'm intending to manifest my vision on? Who's your model of possibility? Can everyone pick a model of possibility and share it in the chats? There's a reason why we pick a model of possibility when we do these neuroscience-backed techniques. So you're going to identify a model of possibility in the context that you intend to manifest your vision. Okay, so some might pick me or find to pick me, Lisa Nichols, John Asseroff. Awesome. Fantastic. You're going to pick a model of possibility in that context. So let's say, for example, you pick JJ Virgin. I've shared the stage with JJ for many, many times. Let's say that someone's vision is to be in the best shape of their life. That's to be in, and to, let's say, win a fitness competition. I'm going to be in the best shape of my life and I'm going to win a fitness competition. That's my vision. Okay. So what you don't do is just see yourself on the stage winning the medals. I mean, it's great to do that, but that's not the only part of the technique. The part of the technique is seeing the process that leads up to it. So let me give you an example, and I'm going to use JJ's as an example. You know, JJ's example is the vision is to be in the best shape of my life and win a fitness competition. Someone else might be to launch their business and sell out their new transformational course. It might be to launch their new podcast and have a following of X many people. Everybody's got that? Okay. Get on the edge of your seat, everyone. We're going into process. We're going into transformational process right now. Yesterday, I spent a lot of time teaching. Now I'm going into teaching you a process that I'm going to guide you through. There you go, Maria, on the edge of your seat. Okay, so I want to make sure we go step by step. First is everyone identify a model of possibility. The reason why we identify a model of possibility is because sometimes, how many of you have had a hard time seeing yourself be the one that accesses that level of victory in the context that you've picked? How many of you, it's easier for you to see other people achieving that level of success, but you haven't seen yourself do it? How many of you in your mind, it's easier for you to see other people doing it than you? If you can see other people doing it more successfully in your mind than you, it's actually happening in your consciousness. It's just there's a part of your subconscious mind that has, prior to today, coded it as not me. I want you to really get what I just said, because it's powerful. If you can vision someone else doing it, it's within you. But there's a part of your subconscious that has coded it as not me. It's coded it as the other. But it's happening in your psyche. So tomorrow, I'm going to be giving you specific insights for removing obstructions that are in the subconscious. Who's excited about that? Yeah, that's going to be amazing. Okay, so in neuroscience, there's a term called mirror neuroning. And mirror neuroning, what it means is that when you're observing someone doing something, let's say somebody's a basketball player and they're observing an extraordinary basketball player, their brain is wiring and firing in a similar format as if they were doing that practice. So it's very powerful to observe a model of possibility in the area that you intend to manifest your vision. Got it? Okay, so let me make sure everybody's on step one. Does everybody got a model of possibility? Give me a yes in the chats. It's a prerequisite for the exercise. Okay, so now you've got your model of possibility. How easily can you imagine yourself observing the model of possibility, taking the actions to manifest their vision? How easily can you observe that? Just right now, you can observe the model of possibility. They're taking the actions. You can see who they're being while they're manifesting their vision. So for example, for JJ Virgin, how easily can you see her at the gym lifting the weights? How easily can you see her making a smoothie? Pretty easy? Okay, give me a yes in the chats if you got that next step. So you're going to observe the model of possibility. Then what's going to happen is you're going to enter the old state for the last time. Yesterday we talked about old states that block the manifestation of your vision, like self-doubt. What is an example of another state that blocks the manifestation of your vision? Give it to me in the chats. Let's say self-doubt. What's a state that has been showing up that doesn't serve you? You'd like to experience it for the last time today. By the way, with fear, I see some of you say fear. I've got a different technique for fear that I'll talk about tomorrow, because fear is the densest of all the emotions. So we'll talk about that one tomorrow. It's like a different tool for a different process. But for this one, you could pick something. I mean, you can start with fear, but there's a more precise tool for fear. So let's say self-doubt. So what's going to happen is you're going to go into the old self-doubt for a moment for the very last time. How easily can you go into it? Pretty easy, right? You've done it before. You're going to go into it for a moment for the last time, then you're going to step out of it, and then you're going to shake it out. Can I see everybody shaking just to prepare for the process? I want to see double the shake. Come on, Fritz, let's go. Triple the shake, Karina. Come on, Yulia, triple the shake. Peggy. Okay, so we're going to shake it out. Then what's going to happen after you shake it out is you're going to, in your mind, your eyes are going to be closed. You're going to sitting up. Your spine is elongated. This is a guided visualization activation. You're going to enter the world. You're going to enter the map of the world of the model of possibility. So in the context of JJ, for example, I'm going to enter the gym with her. I'm going to enter the kitchen with her. If you're working with a coach, you're going to enter their creative space. You're going to enter their office. You're going to enter their podcast studio. You're going to enter their laboratory. Everybody's got it? You're entering the space in which the action is being taken to fulfill the manifestation of your vision. Who's with me? Give me a yes in the chat so you're with me. Okay, you're doing awesome. All right. So after you enter the model of possibility space, you enter into the gym, you see, hear, feel, smell, you're in the experience. It's fully alive. All your senses are activated, and make sure you tune into all your senses. You can smell the gym. Who can smell a gym right now if it was important for you to smell the gym? Okay? See yourself taking action alongside the model of possibility. You're seeing yourself taking the actions. The model of possibilities on there making phone calls. They're on there shooting the podcast. They're on there lifting the weights. They're on there doing whatever they're doing to move toward that vision. You're going to be doing that same purposeful action alongside the model of possibility. Everybody's got it? Give me a thumbs up. Then what you're going to do is you're going to state your purpose to the model of possibility. There's going to be a moment, I'm going to guide you every step of the way. You just turn and state your purpose. Say to the model of possibility what your purpose is, why this is important to you. Say, and ask them for permission to see through their eyes and experience through them. Remember, this is all happening in your consciousness. The moment you ask the model of possibility for permission, they're going to say yes because it's happening within you. You're going to quantum jump into the model of possibility. How easily can you guys imagine yourself jumping into a model of possibility and seeing through the eyes of that model of possibility? Give me hands raised to the heavens if you're with me on this, because I want to make sure we're going every step of the way. Okay, so you're going to see through the eyes of the model of possibility. You're going to breathe with their lungs. You're going to feel with their feelings. So what's happening is you're integrating this. It's not outside of you anymore. Okay? So you reverently enter their model of the world. You breathe with their lungs. You've now become the model of possibility. You notice your state of being, your physiology, your language. Notice these keys. Okay? Notice this. I'll guide you through it every step of the way. And then experience yourself as the model, taking the specific actions towards manifesting your vision. You're taking those actions. You're in a state of flow. You're in a state of grace. You're in a state of presence. You're in a state of love. You're in a state of infinite possibilities. And then you take it to a peak. You're going to make it brighter, more vivid, deeper. And then you're going to step out of the model of possibility. Okay? So everybody got that? There's going to be a moment in the visualization where you jump into them. You're looking out through their own eyes, and then there comes a moment where you step out of them. Everybody got that? Give me 2 thumbs up and say, I got it. Okay? Awesome. And then after you step out of them with gratitude, then what we're going to do something that in NLP we call future pacing. Future pacing is where you see your future, your desired future in advance, in consciousness, before it happens. I'll guide you through where you're going to go out a week from now. Who can imagine something a week from now? A meeting, a phone call, an encounter, right? So we're going to go into those future events with this new empowered state of being. Are you guys with me? Are you excited? Let's have a sip of water. We're going straight in. Okay, have a sip of water and stand up, because I'm going to have you stand while we do this. I'm going to turn off my camera because you don't need to see me. Okay. Shake your body out. And I'm going to put a little music in the background. You could share with me in a thumbs up that you could hear this music in a moment. Just give me a moment, not yet. Shake your body out. You guys hear a little music in the background? Okay. Stand up tall. I'm going to start the music over from the beginning so we start together. Okay. Stand up tall. Elongate your spine. And open the heart center. Feel a sense of expansion, like you're being lifted from the heavens above. And inhale 3 deep, rejuvenating breaths. Deep breath in. slow, long exhalation. Deep cleansing breath. Exhale, slow, long exhalation. You may want to begin with just a clear intention, a prayer. Fully embody the state, the strategy, the actions of the manifestation of your vision. Inviting your spiritual teachers, helpers, and guides to join you now on this sacred journey. I'm wondering how easily, just for a moment, you can go into the old state just for a moment for the last time. Go ahead and go into that old state just for a moment and notice what you see, notice what you hear, notice what you feel. Because on the count of 3, you're gonna step out of it and you're gonna shake it out. Ready? 1. We're getting ready to step out of it. 2. And right now, 3. Before you and in front of you now, you see the world of the model of possibility. Notice how easily you see the model of possibility in their creative space, in the space in which they take the actions to manifest your vision. And on the count of 3, you're going to enter into that world and be right there at the side of the model of possibility. 1, getting ready to step in. 2, getting ready to cross that threshold. And 3, now go ahead and step in to the world of the model of possibility. And it comes alive fully in consciousness. Notice the environment all around you. Notice the colors and the textures. Notice what you see. Any sounds that are important. And as you move through that creative space, begin to notice yourself taking purposeful action alongside the model of possibility. The model of possibility is taking specific purposeful action to fulfill that vision. And they say, come on, and you're doing it together. See yourself together with the model of possibility. It's like you're collaborating together in this purposeful action, this inspired action. And experience yourself taking that sequence of action with ease and grace and flow. And allow the colors to become richer, brighter, and even more vivid. As you feel yourself and see through your own eyes as you're taking these actions. Because in a moment, not just yet, you're going to turn to the model of possibility. And you're going to graciously and reverently state your intention. What is your purpose to manifest this vision? And you turn to them right now and go ahead and state your intention. This is my purpose. This is what I intend to create. This is what I intend to manifest. And then ask permission. May I please see through your eyes and feel through you? And just pause for a moment. It's that moment of grace. As the model of possibility says yes. And then very gently, very lovingly. Go ahead and enter the model of possibility. Go ahead and quantum jump your consciousness fully embodied into the model of possibility right now. Breathe with the model of possibility's lungs. Notice what you see. Notice what you hear. Notice what you feel. Who are you being? I am. What do you believe? What is most important to you? From this beingness, feel a sense of expansion. Coming out through your heart center, feel a sense of expansion in your energy field. Right here, right now. And in this state of expansion right now, see and feel as you look out through your own eyes, you're taking the actions. You're taking the wise, focused, purposeful actions to manifest your vision. What actions are you taking? Notice the state that you're in, this luminous, expansive, vibrant state as you take purposeful action towards the fulfillment of this vision. Notice the sequence. There's a sequence of action. See, hear, and feel yourself fully embodied right here, right now, as you breathe it in. The colors are brighter. It's fully panoramic. It's happening all around you. Maybe there's another action that you're taking now that's going to accelerate the powers of manifestation. Who are you communicating with? See, hear, and feel yourself communicating with ease and grace and flow. And feel the feelings of taking these actions, knowing they are moving you in the precise direction of the manifestation of your vision. And now notice, is there another action? There might be. Is there another essential action that is imperative, that will accelerate this manifestation in alignment with your true purpose, in alignment with your highest calling? And go ahead and notice the sequence, the steps, and experience yourself going through those sequences, going through those steps, right here and right now. And now make it bigger, brighter, crisper, clearer. And now just experience a moment of victory as you're going through these steps. There's a victory milestone moment on the fulfillment of your vision. Experience that victory moment and smell it. How does it smell, that victory moment? How does it taste? Taste the moment of victory. How does it feel in your body to know momentum is happening, progress is happening? And breathe it in. And as you exhale, exhale a the sound of the heart. Deep cleansing breath in. And exhale a So now, I'm wondering how easily you can think of a specific time in the future. Maybe like a week from now. And just notice how easily you can allow your consciousness to go ahead and float out into that future memory. Go into that future event. And in consciousness, open your eyes and notice what you see, notice what you hear, notice what you feel. Maybe it's a business meeting. Maybe it's a creative space. Maybe it's something that you've been planning and now it's happening. In the past, something else may have been there, but now you have this state of being, vibrant, luminous, on purpose, in alignment with my true calling. Notice what's different. Notice what's different. And now notice how easily you can go ahead and float out towards another future event. Maybe like a week or two from now, 3 weeks from now. Go into a future event in consciousness, in the context of your vision manifest. And go into it where you open your eyes in consciousness. Notice what you see, notice what you hear, notice what you feel. In the past, something else may have been there. But now you have this, fully embodied. Your sense of being in alignment with your true purpose, in alignment with your highest calling. Notice what's different. And let's go ahead and do one more. Just go ahead and float out towards another future event. Whichever comes to mind first will be the perfect one for you. Maybe it's a gathering that you have, virtual or online or in person. Go into that event fully in consciousness and open your mind's eye. In the past, something else may have been there, but now you have this. What's different? Speak it into the space. What's different? Breathe it in. Inhale a deep, cleansing and rejuvenating breath. And bring your hands to your heart. Feel into the beating of your beautiful heart, your loving heart, your wise and courageous heart. And speak your name out loud. Hear the frequency of your name. Say it out loud. And say, I love you. I love you. Awesome. Open your eyes and give yourself a little hug. Wiggle your toes and wiggle your nose. Give yourself a big hug. Give yourself a big squeeze. Bringing all of your awareness, all of your intention, all of your attention, all of your love, all of your joy, all of your gratitude, all of your luminous presence, all of your energy, all of you, fully back, fully integrated within every cell of your being right here, right now. How was that journey, beautiful ones? Share with me in the chats. If you've had some breakthroughs, you can put B's in the chats. You can put B's in the chats. Okay, if you had a powerful experience, let us know. Bella says B's, thank you. B's, amazing. Emotional, okay, how so, Astrid? Tell us how. Okay, B's, great, exhilarating, amazing, awesome, incredible. I could see myself taking the actions. Okay, well, we're gonna have a moment in the VIP room to debrief this quite a bit, but we've got a special guest right now, so we're going to keep this party going to the next level. But before I do, let me just pause for a moment to integrate this. How was that experience, everyone? Show me in your body, because I'm seeing all of you guys. Show me. Thumbs up, hands high. How you feeling? Okay, fantastic. So creating neural pathways for the manifestation of your vision, and what we know is that what's most essential is our state of being. That our state of being is the key. Who we are being is the key to manifesting our vision. And I couldn't think of a more brilliant luminary on planet Earth than my dearest friend, Michael Beckwith, to share with you insights, wisdom, profound, I don't even have a word for it, the ineffable, for you to manifest your vision. Michael, you're here, and I'd love to share with them the story before we dive in of how we met. Welcome.
Please, thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for throwing me into this grand vibrational feeling that I just felt as you moved them through that process. And yeah, take it away. Let me know.
I love it. Well, I first became aware of Michael when, who saw the movie The Secret? Who remembers that movie, The Secret? And I saw that movie and it was so riveting. And it talked about the law of attraction and how we can attract whatever we truly desire in our lives. And that the law of attraction is really about the law of vibration, right? How we're vibrating. And I saw this movie and I felt such a deep soul connection with you, Michael. I just felt like you and I were cut from the same cloth. You and I were soul kin, soul
Yes,
family.
yes,
And
yes.
I just felt that immediately. And I said, I'm going to meet him. We're going to be friends. We're going to share the stage. And here's an important distinction on manifesting your vision. I actually made the decision to meet Michael before I ever met him. I said, I'm going to find a way to meet him. We're going to be friends. We're going to share the stage. Like I declared that before it happened. Now, here's the step. And a lot of people do that in manifestation. They see something, they're enthusiastic about it. The power of enthusiasm, right? The spirit within. They're like, this is what I want to manifest. The part where they miss is they don't take the actions to bring it into reality.
Uh-huh.
So when I saw Michael and I was like infused and so connected, I started researching, where is he speaking? Where is he? And I saw that you were speaking at an event called the Power of Gratitude Cruise.
Uh-huh.
And it was a cruise through the Caribbean. And I'm like, who's the promoter? So I created a media kit for that. And I called up the lady who was the promoter and I said to her, this is who I am. She didn't know who I was. I'm like, I'm the perfect speaker to speak next to Michael Beckwith. Okay. And let me tell you why. Michael and I are so in alignment. And she didn't call me back. So I had to follow up and I had to follow up. And I presented this, took the actions, found out where you were, followed up. And then we met that day on the cruise. And you had such a powerful presentation. You were like flying out of your shoes. And I had a presentation that I had prepared and I threw my presentation out. I literally said to everybody, you know what? Michael is so on fire right now. I am not even going to give you my presentation. I'm going to break down his presentation into a strategy that you could apply.
Right.
And that was how we met. So I'm so grateful you're here. Thank you
I
for being here.
remember that. I remember that. You got up there and just articulated it so profoundly and so magnificently. It was beautiful.
I still remember what it was. You know what you were doing is you were in the state of manifestation. You weren't teaching manifestation, but you were just in that state naturally. And you were sharing a lot of just questions and things that were coming up. And I was like, oh man, he's giving people a formula, but they might just be inspired and not realize the formula.
Right, right, right.
So, well, welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here with us. And you know what? I didn't give official, how many of us are meeting Michael Beckwith for the first time? So Michael is a brilliant luminary. He is, to even take out his bio over here.
I was trying.
He is a spiritual leader. He's a spiritual maverick. He's a spiritual luminary. He's the founder of the Agape International Spiritual Center. He's a brilliant spiritual leader all over the world, and we're honored, inspired to have him here. So, welcome.
My joy to be with you.
Well, we've been talking about, yeah, go ahead.
What is our format?
Okay, so
I just arrived in my office. I
love this. So here's what's happening. We've been going for 3 days. We're on day 2. And they're all focused on manifesting their vision.
Okay.
So they've got a vision of what they want to manifest. We just went through a visualization exercise. We've been talking about the power of their state.
Yes.
Manifesting their vision, their state of being.
Yes.
So any insights that you can give them, or maybe even a story you might want to share to get started, if you want to share a story based on your experience of manifestation, that'd be a great place to start. A story of your experience of manifestation, and then we could give them some distinctions.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me here. I loved being thrown into the spiritual briar patch and just begin to teach. And you use the word state, which I think is extremely important because a state determines your stage. There are stages of unfoldment, that we're infinite beings and we're always unfolding to reflect and reveal the infinite nature of the cosmos. This is what the universe is up to. The universe is up to producing an individual that can perfectly reflect the entire cosmos consciously. And so what you just put them through, you put them into a state. You can't go to the next stage without that state of awareness. State precedes stages. And so all the inner work that's happening here is about being able to have a state and then to stabilize the state. So it's not up and down. It's not based on circumstances or conditions, situations, people, places, and things. We become strong enough to maintain that state regardless of what's going on. And then nothing can prevent the unfoldment of the next stage of our unfoldment. As a spiritual being having a human incarnation, and I know everybody knows this already, but we already have everything that we need within us. There's nothing that the world can give us. The world can distract us, but the world can't give us anything. We are here to make a dynamic contribution to the world with the awareness that we already have everything that we need. So the inner work that we're doing is to provide a state of awareness which allows that stage to emerge. That you've already mentioned this. You know, the law of attraction is really the law of vibration and frequency. It is really the law of emergence. It is really the law of resonance, you know, and so that when we are in a particular state, that vibrational frequency that we're in allows for something within us to emerge. What? That's already there, but it emerges, and so we never get what we want. We get who we are. The universal law matches our identity. And so as human beings, we have a constellation of shifting identities and shifting personalities. But when we're doing this work, it becomes centralized. And we end up having a dominant awareness of our true identity, which is luminosity, which is light, which is brilliance, which is beauty, which is intelligence, which is love. Oh, that's our real identity. Everything else is a light bulb, and there are lamp shades. We are the infinite energy, the electricity that never runs out. And then we have identities that are called light bulbs. And then there are lamp shades. Lamp shades determine whether we're blocking or letting the light come out. So if you become too identified with your temporary identity, you come under the law of that identity. We don't want to be under the law of our temporary identities. We want to be under the law of our luminosity, which is infinite and illimitable. So when you go into a state of I am, a state of my life is the life of the presence, the state of I existed before my parents were born. It says scripturally, in the beginning, God. It didn't say in the beginning there was a problem to be solved. There aren't any problems to be solved. There's only perfect spiritual ideas to be revealed. So the universal presence is, I'm solving a problem. It said, let there be light. Let there be love. Let there be brilliance. Let it be everywhere. Let there be living biology that ultimately reflects and reveals that. That's us. The problems are simply the hardened opinions, points of view that become facts and become issues, but they do not exist in the infinite. They do not exist in the quantum field. They only exist in our own perception. And so when we enter into a state, the perception shifts and we become aware that we are pure awareness. From a high state, we can make a choice, a declaration, as you did when you wanted to meet me. And that has to be in coherence. The law that feels that, and bam, it reveals itself. And nothing can stop it. Nothing can hinder it, you see? And so you have attraction, you have resonance, you have emergence, and so we're giving birth to what? We keep giving birth to our real nature and our real being. So you go back many, many, many years ago, I started a vision group to start Agape International Spiritual Center, and I pulled together 3 different groups of people. I was a full-time spiritual therapist, so I had clients. I was teaching practitioners, so I had students. And I was doing seminars way before seminars were even popular. And so I had people from there. And I said, when I finally gave up my resistance to starting a community, I said, who wants to be a part of a vision group for a center called Agape? And so I had about 12 people in my living room. And I started the vision process at that time. This was in 1985, around 1985. I was about 12 at the time. And the idea was not to start a community. The idea was to embody the feeling tone of unconditional love. We wanted to be the community. And so that began the genesis of the vision process, which was to open ourselves up to a field of unconditional love, to absolutely penetrate that and allow that to vibrate in our being to such a very high level. Then from that state, we would ask, what is it that's seeking to emerge? What is the description of this community? And so then we would begin to catch the vision of agape, the feeling tone of unconditional love, dynamic peace, making a mighty contribution to the world. And then as we would describe it and go into the feeling tone of it, then I'd go to the next question, which was, what is it that we need to become in order for this particular vision to manifest? Because it's not about, you cannot get anything that you're not willing to become. You can manipulate temporarily. You can have some level of manifestation temporarily. But if you don't actually become the vibration of that, then it will go up and down. But once you become the vibration of that, even if you have a temporary loss, it's going to come back because that's your vibration. Just like an apple tree in season produces apples, people pick the apples, it just grows back because that's the vibration of the apple tree. So the same thing happens with us. What am I willing to become? And then after what I'm willing to become, we ask the question, what do I have already that can be in service to the vision? Why is this important? Because he or she who has more is given. He or she who has not, that which they have is taken away. That's a law. It's not personal. It's just a law. So we vibrate the feeling of what is it that we already have. So we're walking in the feeling of being and having. If you're walking in the feeling of being and having, then the quantum field, the universal law, matches that feeling and more is given because you are the identity of being and having. And so we work with that. And then the next thing we work with is, what is it that no longer serves me that I'm willing to let go of? Because there are things that used to serve us, and it used to serve certain personality constructs that emerged during particular experiences in our life. But did they serve us now? There's defensiveness service, there's coping mechanism service, there's all manner of way we distract ourselves to serve us. There's certain conversations serve us. We discover what is it that no longer serves us, and we become willing to let it go. No judgment. It's not a judgment. This is not a judgment exercise. It's just an awareness exercise. I know I'm going through this really fast, but it's just
awesome.
It's just where the energy is flowing. So now we've in a field of unconditional love, we are asking from the depth of our being, what is it that's trying to emerge? What is the vision? What is the universal mind's idea? What is Omni Mind's idea of itself as me? Describe that. Feel it. What must I become? That's our growing edge. That means, where must I grow? Not what can I get, but what must I become in vibration in order for this to manifest? And then, what do I already have? And if you scan your mind, you notice you have resources, you have gifts, you have talents. Some of them may be latent. There's so much in your life to be grateful for, but your mind may be concentrating on what you don't have. But you have to concentrate on what you do have, so you're in the feeling tone of being and having. Then you ask, what is it that I can let go of? And then the next level we ask, this is all what I did to start Agape. The next level that you ask is willingness. I teach, where there's willingness, there's a way. If there's willfulness, there's a wall. So you're not being willful, you're being willing. So that you go into a state of remembering any time in your life where you didn't know how to do something, but you became willing anyway. And then that willingness provided the way. It provided opportunities, possibilities, meeting the right people, showing up at the right time. You didn't know how. We're not addicted to or obsessed with outcome or with how things are to be done. We are, if we could use the word obsessed, we are obsessed with the what, the feeling tone of the isness of it now, not how it's going to happen. The how and the details are left up to the universe. We have to just be the state, as you said earlier. So we go into a deep state of willingness. We remember what willingness feels like. And then as we look at the vision and we look at what we must become, we look at what we already have, we look at what we're willing to let go of, we become willing to allow all that to take place. And then we train ourselves to stay in the feeling tone of willingness. And then ways shows up. Ways that we didn't even imagine before because they're outside of our present paradigm. We have a way of thinking and seeing life from a certain point of view. But when we go into willingness under the aegis of unconditional love, then something comes up through us that overflows the banks of our present paradigm, and we begin to see outside of our paradigm possibilities, activation of potential. We begin to see differently. And then manifestation takes place. Seeming miracles happen in our life. Serendipities, coincidences, all kinds of things happen because why? Signs follow consciousness. Signs do not precede consciousness. Signs follow the expansion of our awareness. We start to see this little signs that we're moving in the right direction. Why? Because something's changed within us. We've become a greater version of ourselves. Not an imitation of someone else, but a greater version of ourself happens. What does that mean? That means we are in the middle of transformation. This is what you're teaching, what you're bringing to people, is being transformed. What does transformation mean? Trans means to go beyond the present formation of our life, which are congealed facts of a previous held point of view. We're going beyond that. Behold, I make all things new. This begins to happen. So all of the beings that you have with you right now, they are in the process of self-transformation. Can I break some more things down?
Yeah, I love this.
Okay. There's four, I teach like there's four domains human beings live in. Self-preservation or survival, self-adaption, how to adapt to circumstances. Those are the first two lower rungs. They're good, we have to have them. The third rung is self-transformation, which is what they're in right now with you, and self-dissolution. So the first two is where most of the population of the world lives in. They're trying to survive. There are people that are shelterless. There are people that are escaping bombs. And then how to adapt to circumstances. But the individuals with you today, they're on the rung of self-transformation, meaning what's very important to them is the manifestation of their dream, the manifestation of their vision, the manifestation of what they are to become, the manifestation of the unleashing of the powers within them. That's becoming a priority. They still will survive, preserve, and they'll still learn how to adapt. But what's most important is transformation. Then there's dissolution. What does that mean? That when you change your vibration and frequency, that which can't hang with you anymore because it's a lower vibration falls away. In that particular period of your life, it looks like things are falling apart, but they're really falling together at a higher level. But you have to go through the dissolution in order to embrace the next stage of your unfoldment. So once you go through that, you don't worry about that anymore. You're aware that, oh, I'm losing this. I can't really hang out with that person anymore because their frequency is too low. They're always gossiping, they're always talking about people. They're always putting people down, whatever. Certain people leave your life. Certain habits fall away. So you live at the dynamic of transformation and dissolution, transformation and dissolution, and then you naturally survive. You naturally learn how to adapt to the shifting of circumstances in your life. Now, here's the deal. If you live primarily at excuse me, at the primarily at self-preservation and adaptation, the highest you could get in life is pleasure. But if you go to the next two levels, you get to bliss and ecstasy and happiness and joy. I'm talking about happiness not based on a condition, not based on a circumstance. You can be in pure happiness, pure joy, because that's it, that's intrinsic to your being. The world can't give you joy. Joy is the luminosity of your being shining. And then what happens? The universe, through presence, through law, the quantum field matches that happiness and that joy and that gratitude, and more good flows through you. So what you're bringing people into is a level of such transformation, not just manipulation. True manifestation is not manipulation. True manifestation is an inner transformation where we become the state and the vibrational frequency of the good that's trying to emerge through us. Oh my God. Bliss and ecstasy, joy and happiness. If we're not living there, that means we're not in integrity with our soul. It means we're not ethical with our being. True ethics is coming into a state of self-realization where you're vibrating with such joy and such happiness because you've discovered yourself. This is what true manifestation is all about. And now what do? You're living life to make a contribution. You're not living life to get something. You already have everything. You're living life to make a contribution to the world, which means the flow of prosperity and wealth and abundance and health and great friendships and great soulships are all a part of the package because you're living, contributing, and circulating energy rather than hoarding, dominating, manipulating, and controlling. You're circulating energy. You're giving, you're sharing, you're shining, you're radiating, you're glowing, and more and more and more and more of the good flows through you. And you live at a very high frequency of knowing that everything is always working together for your good. Oh my God, life is magnificent.
I love it.
Oof.
I have a perpetual smile when I listen to you because I just feel the resonance and the activation within every cell of my being. How powerful is everything Michael is sharing, everyone? Share with us in the chats. What energy or frequency are you sensing as we're having this conversation? Look at some of the comments, Michael. It's wow, serious gold word. It's beautiful expansion. Oh my goodness. I wrote down serendipity right before you said it. I
Ah,
actually wrote it in my notes because the power of these meaningful coincidences
yes.
start to emerge.
Yeah, that's the signs that are following your shift, that you know you're on the right path of expansion. So a lot of people are looking for a sign, but signs follow consciousness. They don't precede it. So once you become truly interested in manifestation, truly interested in your own growth, then you get signs that you're on the right path. It's like keep on going, keep on going, keep on doing this inner work, and wonders do behold. I mean, miracles. I mean, I can remember a time in the early days of Agape when we were moving to another location and we had a conditional use permit to get our building ready, and we had to have it finished by a particular period of time, or we would lose the permit. And so we were paying rent on the building, paying rent on hotel rooms, paying staff, and I refused not to pay the staff. And so money was just flowing out more than it was flowing in. And and it looked what we were about to do was impossible. And so I pulled together the board of trustees and the contractors. I pulled them into my office. I locked the door. I had this rather large guy sit on the door. I said, nobody's leaving. And I went around the room and I said, is it possible for us to raise enough money to complete this building and to keep staff on board and keep doing what we're doing? And people saying, it's going to be so hard. I said, that's not what I asked you. I said, is it possible? And one by one, everybody said, yeah, it's possible. It's possible. It's possible. I said, all I want you to do is to hold the state that it's possible for the next few days. Don't ask how this is to happen. Just hold the state of this is possible. So I left. We had just put in a loan to get a loan from a bank of about 300,000 at the time. We didn't have no collateral at the time. The owner of the bank was walking by the man that was working on our portfolio. And he said, "What are you working on?" He said, "Oh, this place called Agape. They want to borrow $300,000. They don't have any collateral." And the guy says, "Is that Beckwith?" And the guy said, "Yes." He says, "Give him the money." And the guy says, "What?" He says, "Is that Michael Beckwith?" He said, "Yes." It's, "Give him the money. It's going to be okay." So that happened on a Tuesday. Our meeting was on Saturday. So by Tuesday, we had the money. Then the next day, the contractor comes in and he says, "I was so moved by that meeting you had that I'm hiring two teams of people to work, some at night and some during the day to complete the project. And I'm going to fund it out of my own money because I know you're good for it." So that was Wednesday. So Saturday, I had them stay in Possibility. Tuesday, we had the money. Wednesday, the contractor joined in, and everything got completed before we ran out of time for a conditional use permit. What looked like it was impossibility became possible because we stayed within the frequency of possibility. Didn't ask how. I didn't visualize. Oh my God, the bank president's going to walk down and give us the money. I didn't visualize. The contractor is going to hire his own people and pay for it out of his own pocket. But we had a vision, and the vision pulled us, and then those particular things happened. You know, so that's why I say we don't have to know how it's going to happen, but we do have to know what is going to happen. We know the what. If you know the what, the how will follow. You have to vibrate with the what, and then the how follows. Yeah.
That reminds me of a question I asked you years ago, where I asked you, how do you meditate? And I remember you said, I become available.
Yeah.
I become available. But that's huge with the first question that and I rewrote it down, what is seeking to emerge?
Yes.
So it's like we're coming into that field of love and we're becoming available to what is
Yes.
seeking to emerge rather than just trying. Now, we could have an idea. This is like you had the idea, we're going to create this community, we're going to do this. But coming into this place, I've got a specific question for you. You mentioned that there was some resistance at the beginning.
Oh, sure.
So let's talk about that because we actually started yesterday. When we started yesterday's session, we talked about the hero's journey, the stages of the hero's journey towards manifesting the vision. And in the hero's journey, right, there's the call to the adventure, then there's the refusal of the call, that
Right.
resistance before you meet the mentor, cross the threshold, and then go on this epic journey
Right.
that is part of our archetypal nature for all of us. But I'm
Right.
really curious to how you navigated the going beyond that resistance. And did the resistance come back in
No,
different?
once I transcended it, what happened was, I was a spiritual therapist. I saw five, six people every single day, 6 days a week. I was the director of the training of the World Ministry of Prayer. I was on the faculty at the university, and I was doing my own private seminars. I liked my life the way it was. I had my weekends off. And so the calling was coming to start a community. I can remember one seminar I did, and it was standing room only. And as people were leaving, I had a little sadness. And as I analyzed the sadness, it was like I just threw these people back out into the world, and they don't have a place to vibrate with on a regular basis. And so I enrolled in the School of Higher Consciousness, the School of Ministry, and not to become a minister. I enrolled just to be in a higher conversation with people. It took me 5 years to get through a 3-year program because I had no interest in graduating. Anyway, when I finally graduated, people were wondering when I was going to start something. I kept saying, "I'm not starting anything. I'm doing what I'm doing already." But I got a message from the ancestral realm. And they said, I made a promise to start the community. And if I didn't start it, there was no reason for me on the planet anymore. It was very clear and very direct.
I just got hair on my
Yeah.
arms
Yeah.
standing up as you said that. I could feel that. So
And so my world started closing down. It was like politically, I got ostracized in the community. I was running a prayer ministry, and it was a department that wasn't for profit, but while I was there, we made $1 million net just by opening ourselves up to donations. And the CEO called us into the office and said that he was going to double our donations by stopping us from praying and just putting people's names in the basket. And I said, as long as I'm here, that's not going to happen. And he said, well, I can turn this place into a 16-hour operation and fire somebody. I said, you can do whatever you want, but it's not going to happen while I'm here. So I knew my world was closing. Everything started closing down on me. And so I went to Puerto Vallarta for a vacation, and I was sitting there and I had a vision. I saw agape. I saw it. And I came back and I said, I'm leaving. I won't leave a day before I train my person, but I'm starting a spiritual community. And the lady said to me, where? And I said, I've been guided to start it in Santa Monica. And she said, why? Why don't you do a community for your own people? And I said, short people? And she turned really red. And she said, oh, I didn't mean anything. I said, that's okay. Anyway, going back to your point, I was very resistant to doing this. But once I had that vision, started walking in that direction, then I started my vision group, the resistance disappeared and everything just opened up. And then on November the 30th, 1986, I had my very first service at the Agape International Spiritual Center. And we've been growing strong ever since. And I don't feel years at all. I don't feel any years about it. It feels like every day is new. I get to watch people grow and unfold to their greater. I get to meet people like you. They become my soulmates on the path, and then we hang out and, it's just a beautiful life. We get to do this. And yeah, but there was resistance to that call. And at a certain point, the call took over. And even if I didn't know how to do something, somebody else would show up that knew how to do that. And so the team just got built around me with teams that were individuals who were genius in their area that became a consortium of holding this vision. And I was the front man for this powerful team that continues to unfold as the Agape International Spiritual Center. And every single department has its own vision group to vision what's trying to emerge. Now, going back to emergence, it's like you look at an acorn. The acorn doesn't attract an oak tree. An acorn allows for the oak tree to emerge from it if it's in the right condition. If the acorn is in the right condition, then an oak tree emerges, the roots, then the shoots, and then the rest of the tree. So
Speak into the entelechy, because you're talking about the entelechy of the acorn,
absolutely.
and I haven't mentioned the word entelechy, and it's so in alignment with what we're talking about. Would you share with them about entelechy?
No, you do it.
Well, it's the essence within us that is seeking to become all that it is meant to become. It is the evolutionary impulse. Go
Yes,
ahead.
it's the evolutionary impulse, and it is the inner design. It's intelligence and the intelligent design that already exists. And when the condition is met, it emerges. And so here's the deal. We we have the power to actually create our own condition. We pull our attention away from the world of conditions. We become the condition for the entelechy, for the information that's already there to emerge. And the world can't stop it, you see, because the world is just hardened facts of previously held points of view. It's not all that big a deal. But that which is within us is greater than that which is within the world. Woo! And so the acorn doesn't attract it; it radiates it. It emerges. So there's the law of radiation rather than attraction. You start off with attraction because that's a linguistic convenience because it looks like you're attracting things to you, but you're actually radiating energy. And then as you radiate energy, there's a level of coherence around that vibration. You're it. You're vibrationally it. And then the next stage emerges. It's not magic, it's mystical connection.
I love this. So
Yeah.
people are asking in the chats, entelechy, the team has spelled it there. It's a Greek word.
Yeah.
Aristotle talked about it in the ancient times, but it's you. Okay.
Yes.
So you talked about creating conditions. What are some, obviously, I talked to them yesterday about some basic conditions, like make sure you're getting the right food, you're
Yeah.
getting the right sleep, you're getting,
Mhm.
making sure you're recovering, nourishing yourself. Are there any specific things that you would say are imperative conditions that allow the entelechy within you to
Yeah, well,
fully emerge?
you started off definitely well. You have to take care of a body temple. It's not pampering. It's proper caretaking of a temple. So you have to make sure you have proper hydration. You can't just drink straight good water. You have to put a little salt in it. Without salt, you're going to die. So you have to have some type of salted water every day, and you
I
have to
have
have
electrolytes. That's my
electrolytes has
electrolytes.
sodium in it. Electrolytes has sodium. You can't just drink water by itself. It doesn't do you, it does you very, not that, it doesn't do you that much good to drink just water. You have to have sodium in the water, which allows for your adrenal glands to be fed. It allows for so many good things to flow through the body temple. So there's proper hydration, proper nutrition, proper rest, proper exercise. All of that is good. Then you have to have moments of the day where you are still. You can call it meditation, you can call it contemplation, you can call it introspection, but you have to pull your attention away from the world as it appears to be. The world as it appears to be is called the world of appearances. And it comes and it goes based on the group perception at that particular period of time. But you're not to be in that. That's not your world. You come in and you become still. And as you're doing today, you begin to place your attention on what's trying to emerge through you, your manifestation, your vision process. Why? You are an endogenous being. There's something called indigenous, there's something called exogenous, and there's something called endogenous. Indigenous means, if you take a palm tree, it's not going to grow in Antarctica. It's indigenous to warm weather. Exogenous is that which is outside of ourself. We are endogenous, which means we create our own environment. Whether the environment doesn't have to be a particular way. Oh, the economy is bad. I'm not going to make any money. No. There's a flu season. I'm going to catch the flu.
No, let
No.
me jump in and say one thing because there's people in this room that have had this experience where we've got people from all over the world here that have been
Mhm.
the people in Israel that were navigating bombs and having to
Yes.
leave the room
Yes.
while the experiences were happening. We have community members in places in Venezuela, and we've experienced people who are still plugging in. Like you talked about the light bulb earlier, you got
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
plug that light bulb in, and they're thriving because they're not giving their attention to all the noise of the world. They're creating boundaries.
Absolutely. So endogenous means you're creating your own environment. And when you create your own environment, something emerges: safety, well being, inspiration, wisdom, guidance, direction, in a language and in a way that you can understand. You're not trying to get it from out there. You're endogenous. You're creating your own environment. So you have to do that every day. Every day you have to pull away from the world as it appears to be. That's just human beings. Human beings, some of our lesser brothers and sisters who are still warmongering and manipulating and controlling. Those are our lesser brothers and sisters on the planet. We have to go within and listen with our entire being, and we get guidance and wisdom from our higher self, our soul, the presence of God, whatever language you want to use. And then you're able to maintain that frequency as you go into the world. And it provides a level of safety and protection, inspiration, wisdom, and guidance. It's, and so you're asking the question about the condition. Therefore, I create my own condition. I am the vibrational condition of the world I want to live in. I am that. And then I walk in that. And then that is what appears in front of me, you see. And people don't quite understand that when you're doing this kind of inner work, you are affecting the entire world. We're all connected. There's no separation between anybody. It may appear that way, but in reality, we've all been shot from the central sun of all creation. We've all been shot from the quantum field. We're all connected. So if I'm lifted up, I draw all into that frequency. High tide lifts all boats. So this group that you've pulled together here may not even know the fact that you are vibrationally changing the world right now. You're
You know what?
vibrationally.
I actually wrote that opening line in my book, which you wrote the forward for. I
Oh,
said, one person's awakening elevates the consciousness of the planet.
and
You
that's
are the one.
true.
You
That's
are the
it.
one. Yeah.
And that is true. Now science is proving that. Now science is showing the bioenergetic field that emerges from our temple. It shows the non-local connection with all beings on the planet and how one person that wakes up affects the entire world. So this is not selfish. Our own transformation is not selfish. It's the contribution to the next stage of humanity's evolution. Yeah.
I love this. Can you give a little bit more of an insight of how that spirituality and science converge?
Yes, they got divorced somewhere in the Middle Ages, when the church was trying to control a lot of things and kick science out. But today, you have epigenetics, you have quantum mechanics, you have evolutionary biology, you have all of these different sciences that are corroborating the mind, body, and spirit connection that mystics have been talking about for hundreds and hundreds of years. Now, science is proving it that thoughts are units of mental energy that transmute themselves into speech, behavior, perception, and experience. We have a bioenergetic field, and that when you become coherent with the fundamental harmony of the universe, you affect the entire environment of the room that you're in, even if you're not even saying a word, if you're just sitting there. You see, but this is all proven now with scientific instruments. So some of the greatest mystics that are emerging are quantum scientists in these workshops. People will say, I want a spiritual man. I said, go to a quantum science workshop. You're going to find them there because they've investigated in such small particles, they've bumped into nothing. And after they passed nothing, they bumped into everything. And they just call it the quantum field. We just call it the presence.
Yeah. What scientists now have all the terminology for, spiritual leaders, enlightened masters have been sharing for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just a different language for describing the same thing. The same way someone speaking Spanish or Italian or Greek may be describing the same thing, but it's a different language. Science is now describing mystical states of at one mint using a different language.
I
Yeah.
love it.
We live in a you know what this means too? you know, 40, 50 years ago, what we're teaching was called woo-woo. You know what I mean? Oh, they're just sitting there with their eyes closed. Nothing's happening. Why are they doing that? Why are they saying those words? You know, now all of that is science. Now which means that there's an evolutionary shift that's happening in the world. You
Now
may
it's
not see,
neuroplasticity.
yeah,
Neuroplasticity. I mean, we've had some of the world's leading neuroscientists contact us and go, "You're doing applied neuroscience. We want to back your programs because it is science." Which,
absolutely.
yeah,
And it speaks to the evolution of our culture, of humanity. Even though if you watch the news, you'll see the worst things happening to humanity in the news. But what's not on the news is this evolutionary shift that is taking place right now on the planet, and that there's more people waking up. And this particular time in human history is the easiest time in human history to become enlightened, to actually wake up, because the frequency of the planet and the frequency of people is higher than it's ever been before. Even though you see the decay and the decadence and the destruction and the dissolution, it's the highest frequency that's ever existed now. And the revolution just will not be televised. You-
you wouldn't know that by turning on the news. We
no,
wouldn't. We
no.
wouldn't. We wouldn't.
You got to watch that once a week just to see what's going on. But the other 6 days, you got to do your own inner work. So you're creating your own experience. You're manifesting your own greatness. You
Right.
see? Yeah, absolutely.
So, final question in our last couple minutes: action. Let's
Hmm.
talk about the action. So they're in this place, they're in the
Yeah,
vibration of love, they're asking what is seeking to emerge through me. They're willing, they're in the willfulness, they're tuning into
willingness.
who do I, the willingness, excuse me.
Yeah,
Who do I need to become?
yeah.
Okay.
Basically, it's called
Willingness. What is, Yeah, what is the action? Like
Called
what?
inspired. It's called inspired action. Like what happens is you can ask yourself, what is my next step? You can even ask that question. And then you're to take
'Cause sometimes
baby.
it's not an inspired action. Sometimes it's an action that is required to be done, but you might not be as inspired.
Well, once you go into the vision process, inspiration takes over.
Okay.
And and sometimes, yeah, you're bumping up against, like me. I had resistance. I had to bump up against the resistance and take action anyway. But when you take baby steps, momentum overtakes lethargy. Once you take little steps every single day, it becomes a momentum. It becomes a vibration, a momentum that then moves you out of lethargy, moves you out of apathy. It moves you out of, being lazy. So if you just say to yourself, I'm going to take a baby step every day and walk in the direction of my dreams. I'm gonna call somebody. I'm gonna write a letter. I'm gonna write an affirmation. I'm going to listen to this again over and over and over until I get in sync with the vibrational frequency of it. You take baby steps, momentum takes over. There's a clearing that takes place, and then you can hear the direction of the next step you're supposed to take. But action follows insight. You know, after a while, you become so motivated that you kind of have to stop yourself a little bit and make sure you're walking correctly.
So powerful. Michael, everything you've shared has been a transmission. Like who could feel it in your nervous system, in your cells, in your beingness, in your heart, in your soul? Share with us on the chats, how has this experience, this profound, deep conversation with Michael been? We got some beautiful comments coming in. He says, Michael, you've impacted my state and my vibration. Thank you so much for bringing him on. You're welcome. Love you, Michael. Blessings, extraordinary, uplifting, explosive. I have no words, just wow, enlightening, undescribable presentation. Always love to resonate in your frequency. Infinite gratitude, new learning. Thank you, Michael. Impactful, enlightening connection. So much.
It's always good being with you. Always good being with you. You have such high, magnificent energy. It's so good. I mean, your field itself, your field is lifting everyone because you have that field is so resonant in you. It lifts just being in your field. It's good for all of these sweet beings to know who you are.
Well, I'm so grateful for you. I feel that from the moment that we've met, it's just been such a blessing and such a sweet soul connection and love. I'm so grateful for you. Any final thoughts you have for everybody that's here?
Let me have them close their eyes for a second.
Yeah, let's.
Close your eyes for a moment and imagine for a moment you have every single thing that your heart desires. There's perfect health, dynamic, harmonizing prosperity. All your relations are shot through with eternity, which would be peace and love, joy, support. Feel what it feels like to have all of your needs met. Now, with all of your needs met and all of your structures are stabilized, your physical health structure, your financial structure, your relationship structure, all other structures. Now ask this question. I have everything that I need. What does my soul want? Let that wash over you. You have everything you need. What does your soul want to express now? It may come as a feeling, it may come as an insight, an inner guidance, inner direction. But as you embrace this feeling, what your soul wants, this higher vision, it will take care of everything else. Feel into that. I give thanks for this for all of us and allow it to be so. And so it is.
So it is.
Mhm. Mhm.
I love you so much. I'm so grateful for you on every level. Thank you for being here with us.
Absolutely, my joy. You know, whenever you call, it's always a yes. Even if I'm traveling, I will get back to you.
Okay, I love you. Thank you so much. How can they follow you? If you guys are in LA, you've got to go to Agape. Every single time I go to LA, I go to Agape. That is my home in Los Angeles. You can also tune into Agape online. You can follow
Yes.
Michael in his social
Us.
media channels. My team will drop the links. You
Yeah.
guys can follow him. Anything else you want to share
Well,
with
yeah, they
us
can go
as
to
you call in?
Agape, they can go to agapelive.com to watch it online. They can go to Take Back Your Mind podcast, of which you did a great episode with me.
That was
Take
so
Back Your
fun.
Mind, Take Back Your Mind
And
podcast.
subscribe to his podcast. Make sure you
Yeah,
guys subscribe.
subscribe to that. And my Instagram page, I put something on there every day, some level of inspiration or teaching every single day on my Instagram page. So there you have it. You know, you can go to my own personal website at michaelbeckwith.com as well.
Awesome. Well, everyone is so grateful for you. I'm deeply grateful for you. Thank you so much. And one of the things, deep gratitude, deep honor, deep love. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for sharing your wisdom, your luminosity, your brilliance, your light, your presence. Thank you for sharing you
It's
and wisdom
absolutely
of
my
the
joy.
ages.
My joy. God bless you.
I'm grateful.
Everyone
God
have a
bless.
great
Give
day. Have a
Michael some
great
love. And actually, I'm gonna give away a book. So and I'm gonna give away a book right now in honor of Michael being here, since he wrote the foreword to the book. And I'm gonna give it to Andy, who was in the VIP room yesterday playing Full Out. Where are you, Andy? Is Andy's camera on? There he is. Andy, you get an autographed copy. I'm gonna write a little love note in there for you. Okay? Andy gets a copy of the book. All right, everyone. How was that session with Michael? Share with me in the chats. Powerful. Who feels an elevated frequency and vibration in the presence of this? Yes? He gave some very powerful questions for you to contemplate. Did you write them down? Okay. The questions, that's why one of the reasons why you'll want to make sure you have the replay. What is seeking to emerge? What is seeking to emerge through me? Who do I need to become? Who do I need to become for this to manifest? What do I already have that I can contribute? You guys can get the other ones in the replay. Very powerful questions to live inside of, yes? Beautiful. Okay, so let's do this just because we've had a rich session and I'd like to be able to debrief it. Who's had some breakthroughs during this session? If you've had some breakthroughs and you'd like to share breakthroughs, I'm going to have a few minutes of us sharing some breakthroughs because we had a powerful visualization. We had a powerful segment with Michael, and I'd like to debrief some of this before we go on to a next segment. So who's had some powerful breakthroughs? Put some B's in the chats. If you'd like to share a breakthrough, raise your hand emoji. Love to see everybody's hand emojis up so we could share a few breakthroughs, would be outstanding. And there's a format in which we share breakthroughs for the greatest impact. We share in the past, this is what was happening, or in the past I was having this awareness or this idea, then I had this awareness, and here's what's different moving forward. Who would like to share a breakthrough? Harold. Good to see you, Harold.
Hi, Niurka.
Always a joy to be in your presence.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this.
And congratulations. I saw you signed for the year of the membership, so congratulations.
So the breakthrough was, in the past, I always had difficulties in discussion with people about the question, when you have a different perspective, the world changes, or your world changes.
When you change, the world around you changes.
Right.
You have that much power.
And
Michael was actually teaching directly into that today.
Yeah, and they would always argue, no, the world is like the world is, and you cannot change. And in the first day, yesterday, I realized that this is not true, that you really change the world when you change your perception.
Yes. And what's going to be different moving forward? You really change your world when you change your perception. What's different moving forward with that awareness, Harold?
Well, it's just to change my world, I only need to change my perception. That's all.
That's why in the communication model, what we teach is perception is projection.
Yeah.
That what you're perceiving is a projection of your own beliefs, your own identity, your own sense of self, your own vibration. So when you raise that vibration, your entire experience of reality shifts. That's why in the conversation I had with Michael years ago, he said, you don't describe what you see what you describe. You're not looking and describing what you're seeing what you're describing. Beautiful. Powerful, Harold. Thank you for sharing.
And I have a request.
Okay.
Can you please get more volume for your mic?
Are you guys not here? Are you guys hearing me okay?
But Michael was much louder than you were. You were only half the volume. That's all
Okay.
throughout the presentation.
Okay, I'd love just for our technical team, if everybody could give feedback. If you hear me fine, put fine. And if you'd like it louder, put louder, just so I know for the future. But thank you, Harold. I appreciate it. Give Harold some love. Okay, let's do another breakthrough. Allison, breakthrough, either from the visualization or from anything that's happened during these 2 days. Good to be with you. So the breakthrough, a quick way to share a breakthrough is in the past, this is what was happening. Then I had this awareness. Moving forward, here's what's different.
Thank you so much. So I've been meditating since I was 14, and I've tried a million different techniques, learned different things. And something Michael said when he was asked, how do you meditate? I become available. I become available to what wants to emerge, what wants to inspire me, what wants to come through me. That was like, oh, right.
So powerful. So what's going to be different moving forward in light of that?
Yes, absolutely. 100%. Thank you so much. This has just been awesome.
I'm thrilled you're here. Give Allison some love. Awesome. So we will do some more just to be mindful of time. Shani, I will take your breakthrough in the VIP room. I'll take it in the VIP room. We'll do more breakthroughs, in the VIP room. Right now, what I would love to do is start moving on to our next segment. So you've had a powerful visualization, and then we just experienced a powerful transmission with our session with Michael. Where's your state right now? Describe it in the chats. How would you describe your frequency, your energy, your state? Okay. In wonder, joyful. Okay. And now I'm curious, because we did not have a lot of time to debrief. We went straight from that visualization into Michael, where normally in our advanced courses, we would debrief an experience like that and even go into breakout rooms and things of this nature. Let me pause before we go to the next segment. How was the visualization for you when you went in and you worked with a model of possibility and you embodied the model of possibility? Give me some feedback in the chats. How was that visualization for everyone? Because we went straight from there. Okay. So that form of visualization is an example of the type of activations that we do in our advanced courses. Okay. Awesome. Visualization, my state changed. It was powerful. It was excellent. The visualization was really good. How many of you would love to have more visualizations like that for different purposes? Like different visualizations to transform limiting beliefs, or to interrupt habits that don't serve you, or to activate empowering states. Who would love to have like an entire toolbox of activations like that I can guide you through, that you could have, and that you could even have the scripts of? Who would love to have that experience? So that's something that we do, and I'll talk about it at the end of today, and then we'll talk more about it tomorrow. But we do that at our advanced and communication mastery, mindset and communication mastery course called Supreme Influence in Action. It's called SIA. It's also our NLP certification course. And I'm actually thrilled that we have Josh Davis in here today. He's with us. He's actually been on faculty in our membership. And Josh, he wrote the book I mentioned to you guys yesterday. He wrote the book, The Difference That Makes the Difference, which is the very first, he's a neuroscientist and a master of NLP. So he wrote the very first neuroscience NLP book in the world. And he's going to be doing a segment as well at Supreme Influence. So you guys are going to have an opportunity to learn, in addition from myself, from other brilliant luminaries like Josh. Josh, good to see you. You guys can all wave at Josh. He's in here.
So great to see you too. It was really fun getting to be here on the other side too, and learn from
Awesome.
Michael.
Yeah, we're excited to have you continue and Josh brings brilliant teachings and activations that he'll be bringing into our sessions. So, okay, everybody. So that was amazing. Toolbox. Yes. Okay. Fantastic. So here's a few things, and then I'll share with you more about those activations. But first, let me share with you a story about manifesting vision. Because what Michael shared was so powerful, which is when we're in that state and we become available, that things start to serendipitously show up. Who's heard of a story called the $1 Million Sermon? There's a story that Napoleon Hill talked about in Think and Grow Rich called the $1 Million Sermon, where a young preacher had a vision. And he had a vision because he saw an educational system that was flawless and that it would not prepare young people to go out and succeed in the world. And he was very frustrated with the educational system. So he had a vision to create a school that would solve this problem, but he didn't have the money to do it. So what he did was he announced that he was going to deliver a bold sermon, and he invited everyone to come, and he announced it in the Chicago newspaper. And he called the sermon, "What I Would Do If I Had $1 Million." That was the title of the sermon. He preached about the vision that he had for this school, the impact it would have, and the expansion and the growth of the students. And he preached it authentically from his heart. In that audience was Philip D. Armour, who was a wealthy industrialist who heard the sermon, walked right up to him and said, "I believe that you can do what you said you're going to do, and I will give you, if you come into my office tomorrow, I will give you the $1 million that you requested." And the Armour Institute of Technology was established in 1893. So that's an awesome story. And part of what inspired me to share that story is I was reading the questionnaires. There were some individuals in the questionnaires who were excited to build a building, build a school, build something. Who's got something that you'd like to build? It requires investor money in order for you to do it. Okay. So know that when the vision is clear, like Michael had the vision of agape. Okay. When the vision is clear and you can literally experience it as already done, this creates the space for major breakthroughs. Okay, so we're going to be living inside of the question, what is seeking to emerge through me? How many of you already have a sense of what that is? You've been in that prayer and you already have a sense of what's seeking to emerge through you. Okay, you have a sense of what that is. You have a vision of what that is. You could feel what it is. Who's in that place? You got a sense, you got a feeling, you got a vision. Okay, so what I'm going to invite you to do is I'm going to invite you to start tuning into how to articulate that vision, that feeling, that which it is that you intend to manifest. Okay. So I'll give you actually, I'm going to share a story before I go into that. So one is you could have that vision of what I intend, but sometimes, like Michael said, we don't know what it is, right? We don't know exactly what it is. We got to be open to that possibility of whatever could emerge. Okay. So give me a moment here. One of the things is give me a moment, you guys. I'm having a technical difficulty with my slides. Okay, so one prerequisite to manifesting the vision, which we started talking about yesterday, is taking responsibility for everything that's showing up in your life. Being at cause. That in any given moment, we're either at cause or we are in effect. And that one of the keys to manifesting our vision is that we are at cause, on the cause side of the equation. I'll give you an example, sometimes what I hear. Sometimes somebody is focused on manifesting their vision, and I'll hear them say things like, I don't have the energy. I can't focus. My mind's not all over the place. Or what if I don't have what it takes? What if I'm not good enough? Social media isn't working for me. How many of you can see that this is in that lower identity that Michael was talking about, but it's also being an effect. It's putting the cause outside the self. Who can see that? So we cannot manifest vision from that lower identity when the cause is outside the self. So one key prerequisite to manifesting vision is bringing cause back to self. So give me an example in the chats. If someone says, I don't have energy, and that's an effect, and we were going to flip that to be at cause, how would we flip that to be at cause? And you could share with me in the chats. So here's an example. Instead of someone saying, I don't have the energy, I prioritize my sleep, my nutrition, and my exercise to support my vitality. How many of you have said things in the past prior to this session that were in effect? I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have what it takes, I'm too tired, I'm too old. But you've said things unconsciously without realizing that you were being in effect in the identity of the lower world that cannot manifest that higher vision. Who's done that before? So awareness is the first step for transformation. So here's a distinction on the hero's journey to manifesting your vision is from now on moving forward, if you ever catch yourself saying one of those, the language, one of those things that represents the lower world that is in effect and not at cause, you're going to immediately catch yourself. The moment you catch yourself, you're in a higher state of consciousness. So you're going to catch yourself and you're going to reframe what that is. And literally you can catch yourself and say, that's not true. So if all of a sudden, give me an example of a thought that you've had that's in effect that doesn't serve you. Some of the ones I saw in the questionnaire is, what if I'm not, we've mentioned good enough, but that one came up. Or someone mentioned earlier on day one, what if I'm too old? Give me a few more. I don't know enough. I was disabled. Okay, so the moment one of those, we got a power practice right now. Everybody with me? The moment one of those words comes up, you're going to say, that's not true. Now, here's the deal. It might have been true in the past, but we're in a brand new moment. Is it true in the moment of now, in the very instant of now? It might have been true back then, but it's not true right in the moment of now, is it? So just be mindful and be aware. Is it true? If it's not true, declare it not true. And then from that, shift your awareness and your attention to declare what is true. How would this impact your life if every time you caught yourself saying something like that, you immediately shifted it? And then over time, those old patterns got weaker and weaker and weaker because you were pruning them. See, Josh is going to tell you all about how we're going to prune those old synapses, and then we're going to forge new ways of thinking and being. So if someone says, for example, I can't focus, my mind is all over the place, instead of saying that, what if they said, I set boundaries? I prioritize. I use my tools to focus on what's most important. I take action on what's most important. Would that shift their state? If someone says I'm not enough, I grow, evolve my skills, and develop my strengths every day. Every day I'm growing. What if somebody says, gosh, social media is so hard, it's just not working for me in business. I'm studying what's working, I'm adjusting my strategy and my content, I'm tracking results, and I'm optimizing for growth. So in the beginning, this takes effort, more effort, because it's new. You're doing this. But once you keep showing up and practicing, like who remembers the Karate Kid teaching wax on, Mr. Miyagi teaching the Karate Kid wax on, wax off? Who remembers that movie? And all of a sudden, Karate Kid wants to be best in the world. He's there to manifest his vision. And Mr. Miyagi's like, okay, you're going to go wax the car. You're going to go wax the car. You're going to go paint the fence. Paint the fence. And you're over here going, why am I waxing the car? Or he was going, why am I painting the fence? But then all of a sudden he goes out to life. And yesterday we talked about the 12 stages of the hero's journey and how you go onto the hero's journey. And as you cross these thresholds, all of a sudden you meet the dragon on your journey to manifest your vision. And in that moment when the dragon arises, he's like, wah, wah, wah. he's got like, boom, he doesn't even have to think about it. He's like doing it like a natural action. Who remembers on day one, we talked about the 4 stages of learning. So this process of conditioning, it's reconditioning your physiology, your language, your beliefs, your focus, your nervous system, okay? So that it becomes natural action, just like that Karate Kid movie where all of a sudden you go out into life and you have the tools integrated. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to grab the workbook to scroll to page 43. It's you. You've embodied it. That's the journey of supreme influence that we have. And one of the keys is your language and your communication. So I'm a big believer in articulating the vision, writing it down. Writing down the vision. And now what's very important is the state that you're in when you're writing the vision. So when you write your vision, you're not writing the vision from the absence. You're writing the vision from the presence. Okay. Tomorrow we're going to do that when we go into the definite chief aim section. So let me give you a quick review, or not review, let me give you a quick pre-teaching. So by tomorrow you're ready. So this is Bruce Lee when he was struggling, but he had a vision, and it was a true deep calling from him, a soul's calling of who he was meant to become. And he wrote this definite chief aim. Here it is. I, Bruce Lee, will be the first and highest paid Oriental superstar in the United States. In return, I will give the most exciting performances and render the best quality of service in the capacity of an actor. Starting in 1970, I will achieve world fame, and from then onward till the end of 1980, I will have in my possession $10 million. I will live as I please and achieve inner harmony and happiness. So that was his. It was very specific. He was going to be the best in the world. He was going to contribute this. He had a very specific time frame. Here's how it was going to happen. Who's ready to write their definite chief aim in a way that's coming from that state of your highest self? As Michael Beckwith was sharing, that state of what is seeking to emerge through me. I would venture to say that what was seeking to emerge through Bruce Lee was to be the best in the world. I mean, he was destined to be who he was, and he became that. And unfortunately, his life was cut short. So that's the process, or one of the steps in the process is we're going to refine that definite chief aim. So tonight, I'm going to have you start just thinking about it. Okay? I'm going to have you just start thinking about it. Just start dreaming about it. Because tomorrow morning, I'm going to give you some very clear instructions and a template to start writing out yours. Got it? So the tools, like what you experienced today, the power of visualization, the tools for mindset and communication mastery are 2 of the most important things. When you really listen to what Michael was sharing today, it was really about that the state of being, the mindset, and also, how many of you can see that it was mindset and communication? It was a state of being, a presence. Also, there were questions that he was specifically asking that guided him to that state. That was the language part. He just gets such a high frequency. Sometimes people are not seeing. There was a formula of these questions. Okay. So the language, the state, the formula, mindset and communication mastery is specifically what we teach in my total immersion course, SIA, Supreme Influence in Action. And what I'd love to do is, before we wrap up today's session, I want to share with you a little bit about Supreme Influence in Action and give you a special offer for you to join us, because it's happening in July this year, and it won't be happening again until the following year. And it is our most powerful total immersion transformational experience that gives you the most tools to focus your mindset wisely and align your communication with your true purpose and with the vision that you're here to manifest. It's our signature course. Supreme stands for the authentic, empowered you. And influence is inward fluency. It's how you bring yourself fully into alignment. Who's a graduate of SIA in here that's had a very powerful experience and would love to share? Let's take a look. We have a few. So I'll share with you what the experience is, and then we'll see if we have a moment for a few graduates to share, and then we'll wrap up our session and get ready for VIP. How does that sound? Okay. So here is let me bring this in. SIA is our deepest foundational total immersion transformative experience. Here it is. It's about transforming the way you think, speak, and live. People literally describe their life before Supreme Influence and after. It's that impactful. So the dates for SIA are July 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th. It's a 4-day total immersion event. It's different than this one because we have more time. We start from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day for 4 days. It's 4-day total immersion. You get a confidential pre-event questionnaire. It's much more detailed than the questionnaire you receive for this session. People describe having major breakthroughs just going through the questionnaire. So the questionnaire is going to uncover what it is that you desire to create, what hasn't been working in the past, what's been challenging you. And I sit with your questionnaire before you arrive in my meditation with my cup of tea, and I'm literally visioning with you. I want you to understand how powerful this questionnaire process is because I'm getting to know who you are, your desires before you even arrive. And like Michael said, everything is connected. You know, from a science perspective, there's non-locality, which that'll take me down a rabbit hole, but basically we are all connected. So as you turn in that questionnaire and I'm sitting with your questionnaire, I'm seeing you living in the full embodiment of your goals. And I'm preparing for your arrival. I'm consciously preparing for your arrival. You're going to receive the entire training, hands-on coaching. You get a training manual. You get scripts, all the scripts for the processes. Like, who would love to have the script from today's session that I guided you through, the Genius Integration Technique? And then you could apply it with others. You're going to get scripts. You're also going to get all the replays. That's included in your package. At the completion of SIA, you get a 30-day integration guide where you do a 10-minute power practice in the morning and in the evenings. So imagine 10-minute power practice, morning, evening, very simple, but it's about bringing you into alignment, into attunement to ensure this all integrates. You get an exclusive dashboard with all of your material, and you have the opportunity to become certified. Those of you that are inspired to coach, mentor, guide others, and become a certified practitioner, that is available. Some people come just for their own transformational journey, but that is... who would love, let me ask you, I asked you that question yesterday, who would love to apply these teachings in your own unique way to coach, support, and guide others? That's the certification step. If you're using these techniques to guide others, certification is important. So the value, when you look at the value of all of this, you know, the course is a $5,000 course. We have all of these additional bonuses. It's over $7,000 with the bonuses. The investment when you take action today is $24.97. If you're a graduate and you're revisiting, you could revisit for just $777. And I've got a super exciting fast action bonus is when you take action before this course ends, you get to bring a guest with you. You get a free guest who is new to the community. So it's somebody who's never been to any of our events. They're new to the community, but you get to bring them as your personal guest. And we do that because we're all about expanding the power of this work for the world. So before we wrap up, are there any questions specifically about SIA? We call it SIA affectionately, Supreme Influence in Action, where we say SIA to what doesn't serve you and we usher in what does. So if anybody has any questions, you could raise your hand emojis. And if you don't have questions, if there's any graduates of SIA who've had a very powerful experience who would like to share about their breakthroughs at SIA, I'd love to see if any graduates would like to share. Do you guys have any questions? No questions? Who would like to share? Any graduates like to share? You guys being shy? Kamal's raising his hand. He's so generous. He always loves to share. So I met Kamal. Give Kamal a hand. So I met Kamal when he came to his first SIA. He was navigating some self-doubt, and boy, he shows up. I'll tell you, the thing about Kamal is he shows up, he plays full out, he's here every week in the membership, he shows up for SIA, and he went from self-doubt to $500,000 in his business, to 5 million, to 20 million. He's doing over 40 million right now, but it's not just about the money, it's about the impact that he's making, the relationships. Like you're with your family in India right now, right? Okay, just share with us a little bit about the journey, Kamal, briefly. Where were you before you came to
Sure.
SIA? What happened? And it's been such a joy to see your growth and evolution.
Thank you, Niurka. I know it's 2:30 in the morning, so I'm half asleep, but I definitely like to share. Uh, Been on a spiritual journey right now, but coming back to SIA, it was such an outstanding, journey for me on transformation. I started the journey with you in 2009 when I had so many self doubts, and I came with no intent, came, just briefly just to see how it works out. And that time I was making 500,000, still doubting what I would do with my life. And, kept writing everything, whatever you kept telling me, that journal became my Bible, and consistently kept following everything what you did. That's when my self-limiting beliefs turned into empowering beliefs, and I started to believe that I had to be in my peak state, like what Michael Beckwith said today. So you have to be in that peak state, because that's when your language changes, your physiology changes, your belief level changes, and your language becomes even more so powerful,
And what
and you
happened in your
become
life?
even.
Like for people that are meeting you for the first time, what happened in your life when you implemented this? What changed for
The
you, for your
quality of
family, for
life.
your business? Like what
Yes.
changed?
Yeah, the quality of life started to soar in every way of my life, and in all the areas, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, all areas. It was, I started to balance myself again with your learning, and it took me to a new level, and I kept raising my standards and keep stretching myself to take it to a next level. And the consistent learning was being with you on a consistent basis, and keep growing and keep pondering every time, whenever after the classes, whatever those this VIP sessions are so
Yeah,
amazing.
you show up almost every single week in the membership. How are those sessions for you? Just last thing, if you want to share
Yes,
those
so
sessions, you
those
show up.
VIP sessions basically help me out, because then it is like a consistent learning basis, because otherwise it's like a peak and a valley. Our mind always keeps us, whenever there is a self doubt, it takes us down. And those VIP sessions take you on a consistent to be at a peak. And that peak, basically, it's like you're basically, rewiring yourself. So you're getting a new neuro pathway or for the growth, because you attach a new way. There's a new commitment that comes in, there's a new laser focus that comes in, there's a new courage that is coming in. So all those things are anchors which I'm talking right now,
Yeah,
and that basically helps us to become even more stronger day by day. And you start to enjoy the quality of life,
I
not
love
only for
this.
yourself. This is not only for yourself. You give to your family, you give it to your friends, you give it to all the employees whom you work with, the community, and you start to have great vocations in life.
Give
That's all
Kamal
I
some
can say.
love. Everyone, it's 2:30 in the morning in India, and Kamal is showing up and playing full out. And that's how he is. That's who he is. And he shows up this way, and we see the ripple effect and how the blessings are happening in his family, with his children. His wife has been in our courses, his children travel with him. It's just a beautiful experience. So thank you, Kamal. Give Kamal some love.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Always
Thank
a
you.
blessing to be in here. And I see we have several other SIA graduates. Maybe we'll have some of them share tomorrow at the end of the day. So here's what's happening. Let me give you a few announcements. So, how was today's main session in the chats? Go ahead and share with me in 1 or 2 words. That's a pretty rich session, yes? Okay. So, trust that everything that you've experienced today is going to continue to integrate all night long within every cell of your being from now until forever. And in 25 minutes, we're hopping into the VIP room. If you're not in the VIP room yet, there's still time to hop in the VIP room. The team will drop the link, because when you hop in the VIP room, you'll get all the replays as well. So there's a lot of amazing value in the VIP room. And the team will also drop the link to the special offer we made today for SIA. Take action and get to bring a guest. Every course we have, our signature courses, they're all 100% guaranteed. What does that mean? I believe and know so much in the value of what this is going to do in your life that I take all the risk away. Come to the course, experience it. If by the end of the third day, it's a 4-day course, if by the end of the third day, you don't feel like you've already received your value's worth, by the end of day 3 and it's a 4-day course, we'll refund your money. I do that because I just want you to have total knowingness of the amazing value that we stand behind, because it will change your life. Like I said, people describe their life before SIA and after SIA. It's a defining moment. All right, beautiful ones. So tomorrow is when we're going to crystallize the definite chief aim. Oh, my team is texting me going, we need the wheel. Okay. Tomorrow we're going to do the definite chief aim, and we're going to crystallize that. And then we're going to share with you some final exciting things that we have coming up that we have not mentioned yet. Okay. So who's feeling lucky to spin the wheel? Who's here for the very first time? It's your very first experience with me. I'm going to call on Allison because she was participating and raising her hand. Allison, I'm going to call on you. So on the wheel, we have SIA. That's the course that I just mentioned, which is our signature 4-day total immersion mindset and communication mastery NLP course. That's available on the wheel. We have Neogenesis, which we'll talk about tomorrow. This is our deepest transformative experience. We've got Niurka Bucks. Niurka Bucks is cash you can apply towards any multi-day course. And then we've got some digital products. Are you ready, Allison? Give Allison some love.
Yes, I'm ready.
Communication mastery. Give her, yep, she gets one of our digital products called Communication Mastery, which is actually an amazing pre-teaching right before SIA. It's actually a great study right before you go to SIA. Give Allison some love. We're going to spin the wheel again. You're so welcome. How about we spin the wheel again in the VIP room, everybody? What do you say? All right, beautiful one. So you've got the link to join us for VIP if you're not there yet. You've got the link that we have for the special offers. We have a powerful day tomorrow. We're going to be focused on the definite chief aim and crystallizing that. And make sure you're here on time, 5 minutes early, ready to go for a powerful session. So unmute yourself and let's hear your beautiful voices from around the world.
Thank you.
Thank you, Niurka.